There we go.
What are you waiting for?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Tackle Shop Live with special guest, Epic Eric, coming up to you right now.
A sunny day. Right there,
wow, look at everybody checking in. This is going to be awesome. I don't know how you guys do it, but pre-show, you and Epic Eric had a wonderful conversation.
It's not going to be awesome.
It's going to be epic.
There you go.
That's right. Man, Scott Lockoff, how you doing, brother? Bobby Donahue, what's up? Joseph Cascarino.
Only his mother calls him Joseph.
Yeah, I know. I like to call him Joseph. Edward Renoski, how you doing? John Kopp, Larry Schote, Don Roeder. What do you say, Don? I hear you're going fishing tomorrow. Lucky dog, you. Man, we got a great show for you tonight. We have special guest, Epic Eric Golasso is going to be with us tonight. Eric is just an awesome guy, great fisherman, lure connoisseur kind of guy. We're just gonna figure out what Eric really is, because he's everything, man. He's everything when it comes to fishing.
I'll sum it up for you real quick.
Yeah,
he's a bass head.
He's a bass head, absolute bass head, like I've never met before. And that always leads to great conversation. So we're gonna bring him on here in just a second. I got a couple announcements real quick. This Saturday, it's finally here. Smallmouth Saturday is kicking off Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. We are going to have a huge, awesome event for you guys. Man, we got George is going to be doing a massive seminar. George says you may have to take tickets to get in, because he's going to pack the house.
I'm just going to roll the sides of the tent up.
And so he's going to have a great seminar for you. And then also we have Smallmouth Crush. Travis Manson is coming to town. He's going to be here to do some great seminars, but also he's going to be here to talk and answer questions. And man, guess what? You may want to even book a guy trip with him, because he will be here to help you book a guy trip up on the Great Lakes and the Thousand Islands region. He's one of the best up there, and it would be a great trip for you. So you can definitely talk to him about that. But really, his seminars are spectacular, and real technical fishermen. It'll be a good time. And then after him, we have Corbin Gottwalt jumping in. And
CG Gottwalt.
He's going to jump in and do a great seminar. Corbin is always on the edge, man. He is doing things on the Susquehanna River and river fishing for smallmouth and river smallies that you can apply anywhere. But he's always on the edge doing some great stuff. So, it's going to be an interesting seminar with him. That's tomorrow. That's Saturday, February the 11th. Here at the shop, we have busing for parking. We have the bass bus running. We have food here, so you don't have to leave.
The bass
We
bus.
got a heated tent for the seminars that'll hold over 150 people. So we got plenty of room. We got plenty of tackle. We're going to have blowout tackle pricing in here on some awesome gear. You know how we roll in here. But George just lost his mind. He wrote some specials that are just going to blow you away. So you can come here and take advantage of that also. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really great time. But before we mess around with anything else, I think we're going to bring on the bacon right now. We're going to bring on Epic Eric.
Special guest.
Here he is. There you are.
Man, good to see you guys, man. Two of my favorite dudes in the business, man. George and Mike, man. I remember meeting you back at the old tackle shop. See you at the river tournaments up on the Upper Bay. I still got that coupon for a trip with you guys that I won in the giveaways when you threw the plastic bags out at like the Shimano free tournament. Oh my gosh, man, those were legend.
Hey, you're gonna have to cash that in.
I know it's about, I don't know what, 10 years old at this point. I still have a date number upstairs.
Basically, we're gonna launch the boat, take a loop around the island, and put it back on the trailer and call it a day.
I'll do it. I'm rolling in heavy with the tip, man. I'm gonna roll in heavy with the tip. I'm telling you right now. I don't care. Just to be in a boat on the water with you guys, it's all I need.
You literally have to book that trip and show up with that freaking coupon. 10 years old. We'll have like
we can't call it a guide trip though, because neither George and I are even guiding anymore.
Yeah, you've had the thing so long.
Fishing. You've had it so long that we got out of the business. We hired other people to do it for us. We're retired, so we're gonna have to call it something else.
We'll just go fun. It's a fun fishing thing.
I can just see the video footage now. We're like opening up the envelope and unrolling this thing, and we're like, Eric, this thing's like 10 years old, man. Should have brought that up before the trip.
I think I was 40 when I won it. That's awesome, man. Oh my gosh, good to be here. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks so much for taking your time out of your schedule. I know you're a busy guy, and we appreciate you stopping in. I mean, I think we're more casual acquaintance than we are anything. And I know a lot about you, but I don't really know a lot about you. I know
because he's a man of mystery.
He is. But one thing I do know is you're a definite stick. You definitely know how to catch them. You've proven yourself year after year after year. And the other thing that I found out about you the last time we talked was how you travel to fish. I mean, you're all over the place, man. You're down south fishing tournaments, team tournaments and stuff down there. You're fishing the bay, you're up in New York fishing. I mean, you're all over the dang on place. I mean, I think I even saw you in Texas and definitely in Florida.
I was in Florida last year, about to head back down, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
So tell me about your tournament history and what you do, what it is that you're doing now, but what your history is. How'd you get started in it, and what all went down with that?
Man, that's a great question. So I first got introduced to tournament fishing. I'll go back to the beginning, man. Lifetime subscriber, Bassmaster magazine. With my $150 for my newspaper route, I bought a lifetime subscription when I was 12. I still get it today, man. Thank you very much. That was a good value, right? And then bank and boat Bassmasters when I was working at Bart's Sports World in Glen Burnie, selling fishing stuff. There was a guy there. He's a member of the club. I joined. First tournament out, caught big fish in the club.
Oh, wait, time out. Whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
You're a fellow tackle guy? You're a fellow tackle shop guy?
I was, man.
I didn't know that.
I worked at Lee's Outdoors. That was my first tackle shop fishing. And then I worked at Bart's Sports World in Glen Burnie, and they had a lot of tackle. Carried a lot of Daiwa, a lot of Fenwick back in the day. Yeah. And, my gosh, just the old lures, man. Bagley's, I was buying a bunch of those in the 70s, of course. So that's when I started my collecting, a little bit of collecting. And this guy got me into bank and boat, man. So basically you could fish from the bank or a boat. I didn't have a boat at the time. I just had my license. I was just building a little boat with my my football coach, man. I bought basically an aluminum boat, decked it out, man, had a Chrysler on the back, and then upgraded to a bass tracker. But my first tournament was really from an aluminum boat down on the Eastern Shore. And I was throwing a Producto worm, man, in black grape, high float, and caught like one just shy of 4. That was a big bass at the Derby. So I got my trophy. I was pretty stoked. And then I got paired up as a non-boater with this guy. He was #1 in the club. And it was down at Johnson's Pond on the Eastern Shore. And the guys used to get together for lunch. I had my limit. I was throwing I think it was a bushwhacker spinnerbait or something, man. It was the old bomber one.
Oh yeah.
And I had my limit, and I had the big fish, one close to 4 again. And everybody's like, let's see that big bass. Let's see. And I didn't want to bring him out of live well. And the guy that was #1 in the club, he was a mailman. He goes, I'll get it for him. And he gets my fish out of live well and drops it over the side.
You are kidding me.
That was my introduction. I started thinking to myself after the tournament, and they didn't count it. I couldn't weigh it in. And so I came in second place. And
you are kidding me. That is dirty, man.
I think it might have been dirty pool, man. I think it might have been dirty pool, man. So
that's dirty.
that was dirty. That was dirty, man. And then I got out of bass fishing once and I had kids and coached a little bit, got heavy into fly fishing, tying flies. And so that's a lot of what I do in the winter down here in the Bass Lab. I like to create stuff. I like to hack up baits a lot. I just did a little bait hack stream with hella bass, 50 bait hacks in like 3 hours. And I love doing that stuff. I paint lures. I try to create stuff down here. Anyway, so joined Skeeter Owners Club. Oddly enough, I had a Ranger boat.
How'd you pull
got
that
back.
off?
Yeah, how'd you do that?
You could have any boat. They just called it Skeeter Owners Club. So I was driving around in my Ranger. First year, rookie of the year. And oddly enough, getting ready for a tournament, I broke some fish off that I could have had first place. My buddy Bob Cherry's looking at me going, dude, you're tying your Palomar wrong. You're putting a twist in it. I'm like, what? You know, have you guys ever experienced that like in your career late where you go, I've been doing this all wrong all along?
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
He got me right. Fast forward to now, several years in the Skeeter Owners Club, couple good finishes, couple wins. I really, one day on the Potomac above the Wilson Bridge, we launched when we shouldn't have. And 2 tornadoes spawned, one down in southern Maryland in La Plata and one above us up north. Ooh. I got caught in the squall. My GPS was done. I was by myself in the boat on the river, 75-mile-an-hour winds, lightning cracking all around me. I really thought it'd be my last day fishing. Wow. And after that, I'm like, you know what? I ain't into the pressure I'm putting on myself as the guy in the front of the boat. I was running a business at the time. It was just too much. And so then I turned to team fishing. And so fast forward to now, I've been down in Carolina. I bounce around a little bit with different partners. I love doing that because I learn a lot. But right now I'm fishing mostly with Scooter Lilly, CWW Inshore Charters. The guy is a stud. I really have had the good fortune to fish with some incredible fishermen, and I've learned a lot. I'm a junk fisherman. He's a power fisherman. And Scooter and I'll take you to our first tournament win. He asked me during the week, how much notice do you need to come down and fish a tournament? I go 30 minutes. So on a Friday night, he texts me at 9:30. He goes, dude, it's not going to happen. He was farming at the time with his father. He goes, I got to get back after it. And I said, man, it's all good. So Jack Rinkers calls me up because I got a Sunday tournament with him. And he goes, let's practice Conowingo. And I said, sure, Jack, I'll do it. While I'm talking to Jack, Scooter calls me. He goes, can you still come down? Because his wife is like, you guys got to fish tomorrow. It's a Bojangles tournament.
Yeah.
Danny Joe Humphreys, right? Who inventor of the floating worm. This is his trail. Yeah. And so I go, Jack and Scooter on the other line. I could fish with him. I said, what should I do? And he goes, Jack goes, tell him to F off. I'm like, no, Jack, I'm going to fish for $5,000. So I said, I'll see you Sunday. So I drove through the night, packed up my stuff, drove through the night. We won that tournament, by the way. Oh, man. An incredible day, man. On Scooter's Fish. It was all new to me, man. This is Roanoke River, Albemarle Sound. It's wind driven tide. So I'm used to the current and tide, but I mean, it's his game plan. So, and oddly enough, he's a power fisherman. And I caught a fish in the last like 7 minutes with inside of the ramp. That was a 5 and change on a Ned rig, big TRD. And that pushed us over the edge. We won by 4 ounces. So that was our first tournament win today. And we won a Bojangles championship in subsequent years. And this year we won an Angler's Choice one day. And we also won a Collins that two-day championship.
That's big,
on
man.
Kerr, man. On
That's
Kerr.
big.
Outstanding.
That was a big win for us, man. So that was my biggest tournament win to date. It was just shy of $40,000. And I've never experienced anything like it, man. It was just an awesome experience. So I'm bringing you up to speed, going back to the beginning from a kid all the way to now. Right. And I got to tell you, I love the team format. For me, it's perfect. Yeah, it really is. I don't have to tow a boat anymore. You know, I turned 60 last year. Yeah. And I'm just psyched to be able to fish with somebody who is, you know, a great captain. He's a lot of fun. Yeah. Our styles gel. If he's doing power, I can do finesse or I can match power. I really am a junk guy, man. I love it. So, and I'll throw some crazy stuff when I'm in the boat. And, but you know, if they're eating something special or straight, you know, and you just go pure power, I'll hang with him a little bit. But he's an incredible fisherman, man. He's won a ton down there before I ever met him. So hats off to Scooter, man. I love fishing with the guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing with team fishing, is just being able to gel with your partner.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
I agree.
So that, you're not competing against each other. It happens to a lot of people when they're team fishing is they start competing with their partner,
Oh, absolutely.
They start catching fish and the guy in the front of the boat start catching fish. And then all of a sudden the guy in the back of the boat's throwing the same damn thing,
Well,
and sometimes, I mean, you have to do that.
Sometimes
if
it's the right call. That's
if
right.
It's the bite, but a lot of times that guy following up is more important than the guy catching the fish in the front of the boat, so
100%. I mean, there have been days where he's throwing power and I'm flicking around a Senko and just pick up that extra fish or get the day started or fill out the limit or many times that's happened where I'm drop shotting and he's cranking or doing something else, power, and it's the right moment. He'll make the call, I'll make the call, but I don't mind doing it, man. I love it. I love team fishing. I love the dynamic.
So we have, well, go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there's a couple things that's inherently wrong with team tournaments for bass fishermen.
Yeah.
First of all, most bass fishermen have absolutely out of control egos.
Very, very true.
I mean, I'm telling you, I lived it myself. But
it's true.
The other thing about these are my takeaways. I listened to you and I made notes here. I have 4 takeaways for you. I'm only going to expose you to 2 of them right now.
All right, thank you.
You can't handle 4 of them in a row.
I love it, man. I'll try to have big shoulders for this. Go ahead, man. What you got?
So the team format.
I want to be a better man. I want to be a better partner.
Oh no, this is with what you're saying. This is we're traveling this path together because the team format. I can totally relate to what you're saying. First of all, it's kind of whacked because as I just said, most bass tournament guys have just freaking unbelievable egos.
100%.
So you get 2 of them big heads on a boat, and you got a problem. But there's a couple. You only have a couple good team tournament partners that you fish with like forever. I know me and Mike fish team tournaments together. And we fish extremely well together. Yeah. Very complimentary. Yeah. No ego. I mean, I will net and call all day long, and it does not hurt my feelings a bit.
That's
especially when I get half of what's in the envelope.
Exactly.
My other team tournament partner that I fish with is Corbin Gottwalt, who is, as guys know from the show here, and I mean, that for me, I don't drink Red Bull, but that's probably what it's like. I mean, when they call our number and he's driving, if we're in his boat, it's Bluetooth speaker max. How fast can the boat go? And there's absolute no possible way the throttle's getting brought back down.
Yeah.
So, that. But we fish together like very complimentary. And I know cameraman Nick team tournaments with his dad very successfully. And he's told us time after time that those guys gel together. Now there has been a few stories with cameraman Nick and his dad where, there may have been like some early season feelings getting hurt, but for the most part, they're a force to be reckoned with.
That's awesome.
Whenever they fish. So, we all relate to what you're saying on that team deal.
Yep.
So
it's relaxing.
Yeah. Along those lines though, Eric, what would you because we have a lot of different people that listen to this show. We got, hardcore tournament anglers that have boats. We have hardcore tournament anglers that fish out of the back of the boat.
Yeah.
As a back of the boat guy, and I've had some great success out of the back of the boat too, but as a back of the boat guy, of your caliber,
right.
What are some pointers or some things that you would say to somebody to make them understand or be a better fisherman out of the back of the boat?
Man, that's a great question. So I think a couple things help me. Tackle organization. I'm a backpacking fool. I love a backpack. I started out with a spider wire backpack. Now I'm on another backpack. So you can't bring a ton of tackle. I've got a backpack now that I use, and I don't know if you guys carry this, but I love it. It's a box. It's called a Slim Plano. It's skinny.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Slim Plano because it forces you to pick your go-to, right?
Right.
So, and I have to be able to match power when I can match power. So from a spinning rod perspective, I've got a Loomis that I love. It's an NRX Plus. I just switched over to the NRX Plus. I had NRXs before. I'm sure you guys sell it. Medium action, 7'2", 7'3", man, you're going to be money. Braid to fluoro, you're going to be money. You can do a lot with that rod. You can drop shot, you can shaky head. And, there's a couple clues for you, right? You can Ned rig, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to be wrong doing that. So if they're throwing a bigger swim bait, I'll try to go to a finesse swim bait to like get the early bites to give confidence, right? If they're throwing a big topwater, I'm going to be throwing a Super Spook Junior, right? If they're throwing a more aggressive crankbait, early season, I might go to a balsa flat side, right? So I'm always trying to throw a little bit something different to match it, different color, different action, different depth, just to find the fish, figure out what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But the tackle organization helps. The other thing I do, and this is kind of weird to people, I think, plastic storage is a tough thing, right? I have my go-to plastics. Everybody does. I use these little rings, like the golf towel hook.
Yeah. Shower curtain hook.
Yeah, shower curtain hook. So I find like little ways to put like my go-to plastics on the outside of my bag. So it's sitting in between my feet. I don't have to dive into the storage to do it. So I really try to be efficient. And little things like that, pre-dipping my plastics, so just for efficiency, right? So if I know I'm on a plastic bite and I expect it to be a green pumpkin with an orange tail, I'll pre-dip 20 of those suckers. And I know I'm going to get bit. So it's really limiting what I do and the tackle efficiency. So, and the other thing, I've seen too many people do this. They get lazy with when they fish something and they're switching to another bait, one moving bait to another, moving bait to a crankbait, let's say. They don't wrap their rod. They leave it with that, and they're pulling a rod up, and there's like 5 rods that come with it.
No. Are you kidding me?
You have to be, you got to be disciplined. And then the other thing is if
wait
you
a minute,
sell,
hold on.
If you sell crankbait wraps,
they're big.
They're amazing because I've heard a lot of guys go, Pete Gluzik, he tries to drive the boat when he'd have a co in there and drive it rough. So all the crankbaits get like tangled together and then they stop and it's like a 3-cast spot and the guy's still trying to get his tackle untangled. So efficiency.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point right there because the other thing that happens with those crankbait hooks now on co-anglers, like in my boat, I found it's amazing how many hooks they stick in my seats on my Skeeter boat.
Oh my God, that would give me a nightmare to hook somebody's seat. That's why I wrap it. Literally, I'm a fiend about that. I absolutely wrap it.
That is a good point. If you don't take anything else home tonight, the crankbait wrap. Now, Mike over here
must do.
He's a rough one on wrapping the rods up.
Oh yeah.
And the way him and I team fish is we fish off the front deck together. So I mean, by the end of the day, if things aren't going right, there's like 30 rods piled up there, right?
It's funny, man. You know how that goes, right? You got 7, then it goes to 10, then it's 12, all of a sudden it's 30. And I'll give you one more tip, like pre-spring. So if I was going to fish with if I was going to fish with either of you guys, not knowing who you are or what you do, and it was a pre-spring tournament, I can tell you there are go-to lures that I know I'm going to throw that a lot of people hate throwing because they're tough to throw. I'm going to probably have a number 6 shad wrap. I'm going to have that little old Goldie out there. And I'm gonna throat weight. I'm gonna throat weight it with some lead, or tail weight it with some line wrap. Lead. And so 2 things happen. I have a suspending crankbait or a slow sinking crankbait. I don't get hung up on like I got to test it in 55 or 45 or 35 degree water. I look at it out there and I carry things with me. Like I'll have a couple strips of golf lead tape. It sticks better than suspend strips or the fly tying stuff. I don't know if you guys sell it in your store, but I can wrap it on hooks. You can also increase the hook size, but then I get snagged a little bit more. So I like a number 5 Gami. I like the bronze. I know you sell the Gamis. I might use an EWG on one and a round on the other if they're slashing at the bait, but I will stick with that bait because I know if I throw that all day, that's going to get me 2 or 3 bites. If I was competing against you and I'm a not competing against you, but we're not a team, and you're not trying to help me, I'll find a way and angle something to throw that's going to get me a bite.
Yes. So that's interesting.
I like that.
That's interesting because we're all about confidence baits. We're all about, if, you go, just because Johnny caught him on a green pumpkin with a pink tip, 3-dot, whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that. It's all in confidence. And so how many baits that you must have with you that are your confident, and probably throw maybe 1 or 2 bones at us about, I don't want to take all your secrets, but 1 or 2 of your bones on, what are your super confident in your head, you got to be having these in your box and throwing all the time.
I mean, a drop shot. I know I'm going to put a fish in the boat with a drop shot sometime during the day. Even if I only have a few minutes, and let's say we're on a point and you're cranking that point, or you're dragging a jig on that point. I could try to drag a jig with you, but I'm going to probably be dragging the drop shot because I know that's a high percentage bait. It's going to get me a bite. I'll have it on a spinning rod doing that. I'll throw a big TRD. That's another one. It's just a bite getter, not the finesse TRD, the big TRD. We got to remember what I'm fishing for. I'm not out there trying to catch smallmouth. I fish largemouth. So just, if you guys are listening, you're hearing me, I'm using the big TRD, and I'm going to use a natural color, right? Or shaky head, right? If I want a bigger bite, right?
On your TRD, are you throwing it on the larger TRD head, or do you have a special head that you use for that?
So I started out with just a regular finesse TRD head, and I like the pro one. I like the longer shank. I don't like the smaller hook size because remember, I'm throwing that medium power, probably 8 to 10 pound braid to 8 pound, fluorocarbon leader. And I just, again, if I'm downsizing my line, I'm not worried unless I'm fishing heavy cover. I'm fishing open water with that bait 9 times out of 10. And look, I'll step it down to 7 gamma touch or another 7, that offline, like, you go 6, 8, 10. I like the 7. I like the 7 because it's a little bit more than 6. 6 gets scary for a tournament guy. But, that fish I caught with Scooter was on 8-pound test, and it went under a log, went into a pad field. I just didn't panic. And, he netted it for him. It was good, man. And we filled the box before that, and he was power fishing, filling the box. So it was awesome, man. It was a great combination of power finesse. So those are some of the baits. And I already told you my crankbait go-to cold water. It's a shad wrap. Finesse swim bait, man. Spark shad, the smaller spark shad and natural shad. I mean, it just gets bit everywhere, man. So pick your head and go to it.
So as a co-angler and you show up at the boat ramp, how many rods you have with you?
Man, I could have anywhere from 10 or more. If I'm on somebody else's boat, not my team partner, I might stick some in the compartments. I don't think they're going to be there, but put the big. But
you're bringing a lot of rods on a team event.
I'm bringing a lot of rods, and I didn't mention any of my balsa crankbaits. I'm a huge balsa guy. I like balsa. I believe in it. I think it's a little bit different, and I'm also a big vintage guy. I like some of the old butyrate crankbaits. So for me, people are like, why do you care about that stuff? I get into the little details, I'll like tune up my buzz baits by rusting a rivet. I might throw like a living rubber skirt on it. So I'm buying a stock buzz bait and I'm doing things to it. I'm taking the river off. I'm scratching up the arm with a file. I'm putting a bead on the front. I'm making the holes bigger. So mine's squealing from the first cast. I might break the blade the next day, but I know I got backups because I've tuned up 3 for the tournament day. Yeah. It's stuff like that that gives me the confidence to say, no matter whose boat I get on, I'm going to catch a bass.
Let's talk about some of that stuff. Let's talk about some of that tackle stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, first of all, I want to go here. I'm going to go here, George.
Right on.
I'm going here with Eric.
Do it.
How, because we were arguing about it in here. How did you get the name Epic Eric?
Travis Manson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Travis Manson. So Travis and I met Upper Bay tournament. I didn't know anybody there because I'm a Potomac guy. That's my home river. Yeah. So Upper Bay's still kind of new to me. Jack Rinkers is there. The whole crew, Jimmy Steiner, Jimmy Big Time, Travis is there, tournament day, and I see him walk in with his bag. Jack kind of introduces me, he blows me off a little bit. I get to know Jack. We fish some tournaments together. We have some success. Jack goes, you need to call Travis, because my son was playing a lacrosse tournament up in New York, a travel tournament, and I'd never fished Lake Champlain. And so Jack, because Travis was working for Jack at the time, selling HVAC contracts, and Jack called up Travis and said, "Hey, take my buddy Eric fish for a half day." Meet Travis, takes me fishing. We catch some smallmouth. I guess we connected a little bit. Gave him 100 bones for gas. He didn't expect any money. He thought that was good. He goes, "You want to?" Later on, he called me up and said, "You want to go fishing?" So we went on the bay, shot a video, showed him, some flat-sided crankbaits, and I caught him pretty good. Shad wrap with lead wire or lead weights, caught him pretty good the same day. Yeah. And then he goes, "You want to come back and do another show?" I said, "Sure." And I went to work on my crankbaits, man, I gotta say. And I fished my stuff, my rock. And look, to me, spring, pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn is very predictable in my mind on the upper bay. Now you got to figure out what they're biting, where are they, and you'll have a mix of fish right on some of these spots. And so we cranked up, and I chatterbaited up one on it was a JDM bait that he'd never seen. It was the Imakatsu Magula Monster Moth Chatter. It was a hunting chatterbait, and caught like I don't know, man, on camera was like a 6 or a 7. I didn't weigh it. And then just had unbelievable day cranking. And pulled out some old baits that I like, the old Rapala Fat Wraps, and Fire Tiger with the chartreuse lip. The water was dirty up the Susky. Was cranking some other balsa crankbaits, and we had 25, 26 pound bag, and then did it again the next week. And
you guys fished tournaments together too for a while, didn't you?
We did fish tournaments. Yep. And then where the name came in, let me land the plane.
Yeah.
In the fall, I think it's another predictable time. Fish pour off the flats because the grass is dying. They get on those channel swing banks, slow rolling a spinnerbait. I won a championship up there doing it. 22.6 was my best bag in a championship for a club that I was in with Mike Draper. And I found the fish because I'd practiced for a couple days, and I took him to some of those channel swings and slow rolling that spinnerbait, man. Just caught some hosses. And then I think I threw a Rapala Thug, which is out of production because, I got to have something that they don't make anymore, something a little special. I sneaky, right? Like that. And look, man, if I had one crankbait to pick, that was production Rapala DT6. Go buy every one you can from Susquehanna Tackle this weekend. Badass killer bait. They're in stock.
Killer.
They're not going to break your bank. It's a killer bait. Anyway, he turned to the camera and he goes, "Epic Eric. How does he do it?" After I caught like a 5.5 on a spinnerbait. And that stuck. And I was really, I still feel weird about the name because I'm not that, I don't know. I don't see myself that way. Yeah. And then I was not even on social media at the time when I was with Travis. I don't think I had an Instagram page really. I might've started posting, but I met Brian the Carpenter from the Ike Live show, Eric the intern, Travis. We went to the Great American Outdoor Show in PA. And they're like, "Dude, what is your Instagram? Flying Fish 2000. That was like my eBay name." And I'm like, "I don't know, man." They go, "You got to be Epic Eric." And I'm like, "Man, I don't want to do that." They go, they like convinced me. It's like, what Travis is calling. You got to do it. So I changed my name on Instagram, and that's the rest is history.
I like it.
Well, it's funny
Thanks,
because,
man.
when we started talking about having you on the show, the word kind of got out a little bit and customers are coming in and said, "Oh man, that Epic Eric's going to be on the show. Is he coming to the smallmouth Saturday? Is he going to come? Is he going to come?" And I was just saying, you pop up all over the place and people have been talking about you for years. And
that's crazy.
And we know Travis from back in the day when he moved here.
Yeah.
And he was gonna, and then I think he started on the Elite Series.
That's right.
Started with the inaugural Elite Series, fished a couple years with them. Yeah. And we kind of knew him from that whole time.
Okay.
And
I hooked a brother up in that last open he had to fish.
Yeah.
He's coming down this row of docks towards me. He says, "Man, I got to have one more fish." I pulled my boat out. And I'm like, "There you go." Some bitch if he doesn't flip in there and catch a 5-pounder. I'm like,
"Oh my God.
You got to be freaking kidding me, man."
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, he made Ike look like he was in a library.
Uh-oh.
The girl on the gas dock was calling 911, man. I mean, he lost his freaking voice.
Oh, my gosh.
I was so happy for him because that was his dream at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly, man.
Yeah,
truly.
absolutely.
Yeah,
dream at the time. But, I want to back up a second from a a fish location point of view,
Yeah.
those channel swings you're talking about,
Yeah.
that's where I like to start this time of the year.
No question.
Absolutely.
No question. No
I'm all
question,
about
man.
I'm all about the turn in and the turn out.
You, brother, you're speaking my language. There's
yeah,
no question,
man.
So
Can't wait.
So
Yep.
through all those videos that you've done with Travis and you know, established that name, and then all of a sudden now you have this identity.
Yep.
And I take it you're pushing it on or you have it at least on social media.
That's right.
You know, so and in those videos we see what you do with your tackle. You know, we see some of the stuff that you're doing. And then one time, I don't know when it was, Nick, you went into this back room, like this room that you said, I never take anybody in here.
Yeah.
Nobody goes in this room.
That's right.
I mean, that's the level you're at. and how did you get there?
You know, people ask me that all the time, and I have to tell you, so I run a small business just like you guys, right? And you understand what it takes to do that.
Yeah.
And when I got out of bass fishing, raising a family, you know, I started coaching a lot, and I might go bass fishing like 10 times a year, and I missed it. And even running the business, I miss it because, you know, I wasn't fishing as much as I wanted. So I just started kind of diving down the hole of collecting. So I've always been a big balsa fan from my Bagley days, right? And I'd get on the Tackle Tour forum, and it was kind of to fill the void of not being able to fish. And Tackle Tour, they had a hard bait and crankbait forum. And that's probably when it really, really got heavy too. And they had, you know, learned a lot about JDM. And again, as I started to get back into bass fishing, back into team fishing, that quest to find something that was different. And I started to find lures that were different. And that just ignited the fire. Yeah. Like I was a big Zoom plastic fan. And then I learned Ed Chambers makes crankbaits. And I'm like, what? And like, what's a WEC? So I start looking up WEC, and I start reading about it on the forums. And I start talking to a guy that's really, his collection go for like $14 a piece. And I'm like, well, how many do you have? He goes, 100. I go, I want to buy all 100. And he goes, what? And I'm like, yeah. So Ed's making 3,000 baits a year. Maybe he made more. I don't know.
Yeah,
right. It was 3,000.
Right.
And I'm like, one day Ed's not going to be here. And I'd like to have an early model collection of Zoom. So, you know, and then I just gave up because he started coming out with new baits, couldn't get all the color. Anyway, so that's what happened. But I'll tell you two stories that really lit the fire. So I knew Pete Gluzik because I ran into him at a bass show.
His name comes up all the time on the show.
And Captain Steve, he is, man. I really love Pete, the Dean. And Captain Steve, he is. Captain Steve Chaconis, who's a guide on the river. I got to know him. He would always sell his boat every year in November, and I would take him fishing on my boat. And so I love fishing with Steve. He's a guide. He's a tackle tinkerer. I learned a lot from Steve, and he introduced me to Pete. Pete and I start talking, and immediately it goes to crankbaits. And he's holding up this Jerry Lures Little Speedy. And I'm like, whoa. Let's talk about that. So I hired Pete to do a bass class, and I brought some Craig Powers flat sides, caught some good ones on that. He taught me how to fish the little Speedy. Anyway, so Pete goes, we started talking about his business and my business. And we just got into a business conversation. He goes, hey, there's this guy from Hat Camp before GoPro got huge. And it was a camera in the guy's bill of the hat.
Right.
Hat Cam, Randy.
Yeah.
And he goes, would you come fishing with me? I want to talk more business, and I want you to see this product. I don't know what Pete was thinking, but I said, sure, man. So we're on the boat together. And I have an Imakatsu chatterbait with me. And he's got a regular Z-Man chatterbait. And I don't know why I threw it. It was Sasuteki Craw on the back from Jackal. Anyway, so, and I'm throwing a red one. And, I catch a fishing swan. Then I catch another fishing swan. And then I catch another fish, maybe on the back channel, maybe another fish on the back channel. Then we get around Carpenter's Point, and I catch two more fish like back to back. And he goes, you got to give me that rod right now. And we go 100 yards or 150 yards. He catches two heavy threes. And we look at each other, and he goes, man, sometimes it is the bait. And I go, well, you know what's up with this bait? And I trim the skirt a little bit. Mm-hmm. Man, that bait just out of the pack, even without trimming the skirt, it was just going kooky. It was hunting. It couldn't find center. I mean, not wild enough where the fish couldn't track and eat it, but it just had a different sound, different vibration, and it hunted right out of the pack. And there are things you could do to make a regular chatterbait hunt. So look, maybe I didn't find lightning in a bottle, but I liked the carbon steel hook. It was the best hook out there, and it could handle big bass, and it served me well. Caught a lot of big fish on it before. This is way before the jackhammer. Another story I got, and I'll end with this one. I picked up a bladed crankbait before I ever saw any other domestic bladed crankbait or JDM crankbait. I typed in the words hunting crankbait, because, hunting action is what people are trying to build into crankbaits. I mean, look, deflection creates bites, but sometimes just hunting action will do it on its own if fish is tracking it, right? So I take this it's a shallow runner, by the way, maybe goes a foot, with Bob Cherry, post-spawn fish on wood on the Virginia side of the Potomac. I'm throwing this little Imakatsu bait, and Bob is the best crankbait fisherman I knew on the river at the time. We go down this bank, probably 1,000 yards, hit every piece of wood. He whiffs on his favorite -1. I catch 5, catch a snakehead 2 included in that, come back and catch like 3 more, 2 bigger snakeheads because I went up to the bigger size. And literally it was like they'd never seen it. And it got in my brain somewhere that if you can find something new, make something different, give them a different profile action. I mean, that's what fuels the business, right?
Yeah.
If we were all selling the same things you sold 10 years ago, how much would you sell, right?
Right.
That's part of the business. So I love a bait hack. I love a JDM bait. I love something unique that solves a problem. And so then I just went down the rabbit hole, man. I never came out. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Back up a little bit.
Yep.
Back up a little bit.
What the hell?
Put her back on the trailer there for a second. First of all, we're going to clarify a few things here. The best.
I got to get me some water for this one.
The best crankbait fisherman on the river.
Yeah, who is it?
Goldie.
Oh, I got some Goldie baits because Goldie. I fish with Kramer, Billy Kramer.
I got
man, OG river rat.
I got boxes of them going back from the first year he ever made them.
Are you kidding me?
He comes up here and drops a handful on my desk every year. I love that guy, and he is a crankbait. He's like David Fritz, man, because him and Fritz are, just about best friends. And Fritz has downloaded his brain into Goldie's brain.
Dude, I love it.
And then I just try to freaking sponge up the crumbs that Goldie spews out. But
man, that's awesome.
He's the man on the river with a crankbait.
Well, you remember
I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, it was going to go with Goldie.
You're not going to remember this guy's name. And I'll bet you he does.
Yeah.
I'm going to Wayback Machine on this one, son. This guy could do things with a bandit crankbait.
What? That
would make your head spin.
Uh-oh.
Mike Westbrook.
Oh, what?
Yeah? You know him?
I don't. Bandit crankbait? Tell me about Mike Westbrook.
Oh, my God.
Did Mike he fish Westbrook, like when Kramer did? Like Kramer and him and Goldie and all those boys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, back in the day.
Was he Glenn Peacock Day or like a little bit later than Glenn?
When they first discovered there was bass in the river.
Oh, Richie Gaines and all those guys. Yeah. Man.
Until he just relaunched his career a couple years ago.
Wow.
But legendary fisherman, quiet guy, doesn't talk, probably doesn't even have a freaking social media account.
That's the ones you want to talk to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you give him a bandit crankbait.
He's the man.
Dude. Now, I mean, he has 900 other crankbaits to go with it, but that bandit, he has train wrecked him on the river. I've known him for 30 plus years because him and my good friend Bruce Neal used to fish tournaments together as a team circuit. And man, that was like learning is shut your mouth and open your ears.
Yeah.
And he didn't talk much, but when he did, we paid attention.
I mean, Richard Wader, I got to fish with. Billy Kramer, I got to fish with. Glenn Peacock, Richie Gaines. I mean, Kramer with a flipping stick or Kramer with, he's just a great power fisherman.
Oh, my God.
In terms of reading grass, forget about it. I mean, he gets it. Those guys that spend days and days and days in a row, tide and time, current. I mean, it's just, I've been really, really lucky. And I think we all are. Rick Clunn said it best, right? We all are kind of a combination of all the fishermen who came before us.
Absolutely.
So you got to tip your hat to the people that, I've learned a lot from Travis, a ton from Scooter. And, I hope they've learned a few things from me, whether they pick them up and do it or not. I know they see it, but can they make themselves do it? Right. Because, if I had to characterize Travis, he loves that finesse game. He can fish it all too. Don't get me wrong, but he's got his preferred go-to. Now he's smallmouth fishing. And Scooter's got his preferences too, but I mean, there is power in simplicity. You've seen it too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Where do you turn that ticket in? Listen, Bill Kramer. So, I mean, back in the day, Bill Kramer, it was probably a good thing there wasn't social media, but Bill Kramer was an absolute assassin on that river.
He was an animal,
man.
And what I learned from watching him fish all the ways up, all the ways up to when he kind of slowed down and stopped fishing like the Toyota series.
Yeah.
Like I never even, I would watch him pull in the old days with a spook on post spawn fish.
God. So nasty, so dirty.
He should have never in his life pulled his boat into the bay that I was in and pulled a spook out. I mean, he might as well just advertise, because I was like, what?
I know, right?
Now I'm not post spawn without one.
Isn't that the truth? But man, I watched him work a spook and catch some giants on that.
You know who else is a post spawn spook grass guy?
Talk to me.
Glusick.
Oh yeah.
He might be better than Bill, and Bill's probably the best I ever saw.
Oh, no question about it, man. I haven't had a chance to fish with Glusick on post spawn, man, but that'd be something to see. That's a bait that people put down. I mean, honestly, think about it, right? I mean, it still catches for sure. It still catches them today, man. I mean, there are newer pencil style baits, but man, that spook has got a certain profile, right?
Well, I know Mike over here. Mike over here will have a 125 shower blow on post spawn on the grass.
Oh yeah, monster.
He might only catch one,
but they going in the box.
It's gonna be a big one.
That's right.
Hey man,
that's right.
There's something to a big bait, right? I mean, that's some of the things that I learned, man, exploring. The whole Lucky Craft lineup, the BDS4. You'll be throwing a 1.5 in the spring on that pre-spawn when that perch run starts. Those white perch come in. Guess what? Mama's looking for. You'll catch more. I know I'm gonna catch bigger.
Yeah,
flat out fact.
Yeah,
dude, that BDS3 don't suck.
Dude, the egg, man, are you kidding me? Yeah. Those are great baits.
I know.
The great baits. You just got man. So I working with a crankbait maker, Marty Burns and TK Stanley. I've designed some bigger baits with them and collabed, and I've had some good success with it. But I just one thing I want to show you. This is stuff that I do down here. I always thought to myself, June bug is such a damn good color in a worm. Why didn't anybody have a good June bug crankbait? So I found myself one. I had to bring this up because they bring it out. I bring it up. So this is June bug, man.
Snap.
June bug red. Actually, you can't see the red in there, but there's red in there. That's an old Excalibur. I mean, you can paint any of your baits. And guys out there, if you want yourself a June bug crankbait, man, just go to the store, trust your wife, walk in there, find yourself a black base coat, get some stuff that looks like June bug, and paint your crankbait of June. Don't even have to have eyes. I mean, this one has the little red eyes on the back, man. But dude, first cast in New York, caught myself a smallmouth with Travis. First cast rule was
really
very nice.
I swear. Just stuff like that's fun. So go get yourself some Excaliburs from Susquehanna Fishing Tackle this weekend. If you want to dress it up, if it doesn't have like beautiful hot orange belly, because I like to make stuff look ugly sometimes, man. Like, it's all pretty with a whisper of orange. Dude, sometimes those fish want that whole belly just coated. Get some fluorescent orange, doctor it up, scuff up the bottom a little bit and slap it on. It don't have to look pretty, man, but it makes a difference. Stuff like that, man.
I gotta ask you, Eric. So you see these companies out there that sell these blanks, you know what I mean? Like real cheap blanks. Yeah. Would you rather get a clear blank from some unknown company, or would you go get the real thing and paint it?
1,000%. I'd come to your shop. I'd get the real thing, because guess what? The blanks are fun and I get it, but they're knockoffs. And to me, look, wall construction, thickness of plastic, how they're weighted.
Sound.
I'd prefer sound. I would prefer a quality crankbait and I'd get a color that's easy to paint. Go get the white ones. Now you got the white base coat, and do it up that way, man. I'm not a fan of the knockoffs, man. I'm a fan of
no.
Yeah,
I support the companies.
Too. Yeah, I always said that too.
Hard no on the knockoffs.
Right.
Because
I mean, that's a Strike King Series 5 that I sent down to my buddy that I bought him from a store. There you go. And I wanted a rusty crawl. That's my pattern. I did it on this production crankbait. And I said, you know what? I want a rusty crawl. So I sent a picture to my buddy and he painted me 20. And now I got a nice deep thump Series 5 in my rusty crawl.
Well,
I can go grind the bottom with.
Yeah. You know, for me, you know, I really like a 1.5 KVD crankbait. I mean, you talked about hunting. That's one of the original hunting square bills production.
Absolutely. OG.
It truly does hunt.
Yep.
And it's a reasonable price.
Yep.
There's not going to be a knockoff 1.5.
No.
That's going to sound like that. That's going to hunt like that. That's going to have the intricacies that makes that bait that bait.
No.
You know, there's a reason that I like to throw the BDS-3 on pre-spawn and spawn and fish. A copy of a BDS-3 ain't going to do it.
Nope.
So, Mike, to answer your question.
Well, I mean, if he would have answered it any other way, I'd have called him like all kinds of names because
I'd have unplugged him.
No, look at the effort.
I'd have pulled her right out of there.
No, man. Look at and it's not for a plug for us, but I'm just saying, look at the effort.
Right.
I'm talking strictly tackle performance and as a tackle junkie head and what you're going after.
That's right.
Look at the length that Eric goes to get what he wants. He doesn't go buy a blank and try to make it happen. He goes and gets whatever he has to get. Some of this stuff you really try hard to get it, and it's hard to get, and you get it for a certain reason.
That's
not,
right.
Some for collectible, but I'm talking not the collectible stuff. I'm talking about stuff for catching fish.
That I'm going to fish. Absolutely. Yeah.
The thug. You're looking for those things. You're looking for these baits because they do something specific.
That's exactly right.
And that's my point. That's the only thing I'm trying to say is, a lot of these guys.
I mean, there's a reason we throw DT6s and DT8s and OG Slims and the baits that we throw.
Right.
Yeah.
They do certain things.
Copies. It's not going to happen, bro.
Eric was talking about the Imikatsu. Was it? Isn't that what you said?
Imikatsu, yeah.
Yeah, Imikatsu chatterbait. I mean, there's a million chatterbaits on the market, right?
Yep.
Why wouldn't any one of these other ones work? Now, that Imikatsu does something different. It's a different bait.
Different sound.
That's the way you got to look at it. And this guy.
That's the way the jackhammer famous.
And if you guys were listening.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. If you guys were listening to what Eric was saying, he was saying things like thickness of wall, the type of plastic.
Oh, yeah.
How about when these companies get bought out and they change the formula?
Oh, that pisses me off.
How about it? I mean,
I hate it.
How many times have you just said, well, forget it. I'm not fishing them anymore. I'm not fishing those baits anymore. I got to look for the ones that have the old school, before that happened, before change happened, the purchase.
That's exactly right.
How many times does that happen to you? All the time.
A ton, man, a ton. And it drives me insane. That's what drives me to go get the OGs.
Exactly.
But if I want a different jackhammer, I'm going to go up and buy your jackhammer, and it's going to make people cringe. I'm going to cut the skirt off, and I'm going to come down to my fly tying vise, and you can get a $19.99 vise, guys, on Amazon. That's a single clamp. Get yourself a bobbin and some thread and some fly material and different skirts. Never throw away a skirt, and create your own that has a different flash, different profile. Let's say you want to match your herring in your herring lake, and everybody gets herring wrong. It's they have an olive back, by the way, not a blue back, and make yourself a herring jackhammer, or put a little crystal flash in your spinnerbait, with the bandit skirt that falls off. Get into hacking up your baits. That's the thing that I can say the most, go buy your Z-Man heads and tie some, jig skirting material on the front, man. There's endless stuff you could do with things you could buy at Susquehanna if you just add your little flair to it. And I tell you, those things in my brain, if I know my crawfish are hot orange, look, man, I'm sure you've seen it on the river, dude. I've watched crawfish swim by the boat in the summer on a full moon that literally like they were in a pot and they are blaze orange.
Oh yeah, I've been down on your river in July.
It's crazy.
And looked at the mats from a distance, and it was like, are the trees losing their leaves?
Yeah.
And then you get up on that mat, and there's like 3/4 inch to inch long crawfish, 50 of them, fire engine red, walking on top of the mat.
Dude, do not sleep on the fire engine red. Don't put it down.
Yourself if you're punching that mat, that's when
I don't sleep on that fire engine red. You know, that was a real big thing for me. I've done some terrible things with fire engine red.
Isn't it true, man? I love it, man. But that's the kind of stuff that you can't find the bait in fire engine red, but you can literally, you don't have to have an airbrush. You can go out and buy colors, mix them up, man, and just slap it on with some nail polish. And trust me, dudes, it
doesn't have to be pretty.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Be pretty.
It really doesn't. It's
honestly
really nice
doesn't.
to have pretty ones. You know, we have a local painter here that's getting into it. And he just does paint jobs that you can look into, man.
Oh, I know.
It's like
sexy, right?
Crazy what he does.
It's sexy.
And I love that. I absolutely love it. But that doesn't make it catch any more fish. I'm just saying that's a beautiful thing. That's an awesome kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I caught some awesome fish on some crankbaits that look really bad.
No, think about it. The more ratted up they get, sometimes the more they catch them, right?
The better it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's really a great conversation there, Eric, because George and I talk about, fishing and making some changes to your bait while you're fishing, rattles, dipping your tails,
dipping the tails. What? Double dip.
Yeah. See, double dip.
Wait a minute. Double dip. I know you carry Spike it.
Yeah.
And I know you also carry the come on, what's the other one that will explode when you open it?
JJ's.
Dudes, here's another tip. If you do anything tonight, when you come up to Susquehanna Fish and Tackle this Saturday, buy both and double dip your tails. It will be the hottest tail you've ever seen. I like the Spike It color better than the JJ's, but the JJ's is hotter. JJ's first, Spike It second.
JJ's has got that
I like that
freaking
that reminds
garlic
me,
in it, man.
That reminds me of a tournament I fished on the Nanacoke River.
Yeah.
Where I was flipping a black chartreuse tail 4-inch ringworm.
Yeah. Oh God.
But if I dipped that chartreuse tail in chartreuse,
ain't that the truth?
It was like
crazy.
I mean, unbelievable.
Think about what you just said there. You just said a dip in a dye. It's the same color. It's not you changed the color. You just made it really super bright and visible.
You just turn the volume up.
That's the kind of stuff, man. I love that stuff. And that's what drives me to do that craziness back there, man.
Yeah.
I don't fish as much as I want. So.
Well, it's just, we could go on all day long with this stuff because,
for sure.
We call it, me and George call it tweaking your baits.
I love it.
And, you took it to totally different level, and I think a lot of people learn a lot of stuff off of that kind of conversation. Not how to do it and what it is, but just the fact that you're thinking that way. See, that's right. That's the thing, the thought process that goes into coming up with these ideas.
Yeah.
Once you start thinking like that, then you're going to do things differently on the water, on the fly. There was a tournament where we've been watching I don't know if you've been watching it, but the Major League Fishing tournament's been on all day today
down in Okeechobee.
Yeah, down in Okeechobee, and this guy was like in 5th place after day one. I'm not good with names, so I don't know what his name is. And he was fishing, and he just, we went through this whole process of his baits that he was catching fish on, and you know what he did? He pulled a skirt out of his box that had some green tinsel in it, and took the old one off and put that one on, and in the third cast he caught a 4-pounder.
And amazing. And
then he caught one next cast right after that, after he had a call, and I don't even know what they're doing with these scales. I mean, that whole Major League thing is screwed up. Anyway, that's another story. He gets up after 10 minutes of screwing with Major League fishing stuff. He goes out and casts and catches another one, 3 pounds.
Isn't that amazing?
This is after not catching anything. He's like, oh, now we're on Now I'm on the right. It was just that tinsel, and that's what the first thing it said. It was that
a little bit
tinsel.
of flash. Of flash can make a difference. I've taken a shad wrap. So I had a number 5 shad wrap on the river. Little small, little younger of the year shad were just loaded into a place above the Wilson Bridge with Captain Steve Chaconis. I had taken a little bit of holographic fingernail polish and put it down the side of a live river shad with the colors they still make. Rapala. I'm sure you guys carry it. It's one of the OG colors. Great color. And dude, that's what they wanted. It was like magic scales in the middle, a little flash and glint because it matched the hatch perfectly. And dude, I was wearing them out, man. We couldn't
clear
do it
water
with any other crankbait. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Nuts, man. Nuts.
Well, good stuff.
It does happen. It does happen from time to time.
I got a couple things, then we're going to let you go.
Right on, man. What do you got?
So a lot of people are asking me,
yep,
is Epic Eric coming to Smallmouth Saturday?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah, man. I'm going to come.
All right.
I'm going to come. I got some last minute things I need to pick up for Florida. Want to say hi to Travis and then head on home and start rigging tackle for it. So,
well, good. There you go.
I ain't done a thing, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, good.
Yeah,
that would be great because a lot of guys have been asking about it. So everybody listening, you can come here and talk to Epic Eric on Saturday. You'll
probably even catch a friends and family program when you ring out.
I love it, man. That's what I'm yeah, hey, I got a question for you guys. I know you carry Loomis. I bought Loomis rods from you before. I just bought a Shimano from your Shimano rep that you had up there last for the Bass Fest was unbelievable. The guy knows the reels. De Palma was there. He was fantastic, man. Bought myself a flipping reel. Question: Are you going to be getting in the new CBR cranking sticks? It's the burgundy blank because I have the old CBR cranking sticks from Loomis, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
They have the chatterbait bladed one now, which I throw, but I want to know if you've got the CBRs coming in or do you have them now? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we stock the CBR in every series that they make it in, which would be GCX, and IMX.
Okay, so you got the CBRs and IMX there.
Yeah, so there's a CBR 783, there's an 843, 845.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Then there's the deep flex version.
I love the deep flex.
864, 866.
Nice.
There's a big 10X D rod, 906. I got them all.
Holy crap. Well, I hope they don't sell out before I get there, man, because I'll be coming home with a few.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Can I ask him a question real quick?
Yeah.
Based off smallmouth Saturday. So, Eric, I know you said mostly you're a largemouth guy, but as you started experiencing fish catching up north, what's your favorite lake or river? Ooh. And what are some baits that you really
for smallies? For
smallmouth, yes.
Oh, yeah. Great. Man, that's a great question.
Two part.
It really is. Okay, so my first introduction up north was Ontario. And on camera, I caught my personal best with Travis. The scale was a little bit wonky, so we're not sure. It sure looked like an 8. I know it was a 7, and it was a giant. And it was really kind of cool because he took me out on the big lake. I was a little freaked out because I'm like, if you fall in, you die.
Yeah,
it's like November late, and swells. It was so I stayed in the well. I'm like, nah, I ain't staying on the back deck because like a few times it looked like he was going to fall in. I'm like, this is crazy. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so there weren't a lot of big fish,
brother.
There weren't a lot of big fish on the main lake. And I'm like, man, I just started using my bass head and asked him, do the bait fish head towards the rivers like they do, like backs of creeks? So they just go into the rivers. As soon as we got to the mouth of the Black River, it was like bait plumes.
Oh,
and as soon as we got in them bait plumes, it was over.
It was over.
And it was cool,
bait,
man.
So
you
got to find a bait.
So I caught that fish drop shotting, Gajo Spirit Shad. Thank you, Will Clute. I think you guys carry Gajo baits, or maybe you're thinking about it. I don't know.
Will's on the
hit list.
He's on the what do you call this thing here?
Oh, he's on the feed here tonight.
He's on the feed here tonight.
My man Gajo. Will.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Gajo Spirit Shad. So I would have to say Will's water is my absolute favorite, second to Ontario. So if I have to pick a river, it's St. Lawrence. Or a tributary, the Saint that's Will Clute, Mohawk Trails Guide Service, dude. I mean, it's those waters are legendary. What's really cool is I like to bring baits, and I threw this on Ontario, by the way. I threw a little mini chatterbait. It's a football head chatterbait, but micro. It's called the Shaky Chatter Jig, and I probably got one here. I don't know that I've ever showed it, but I caught big fish of the trip with Will and Travis. It was at the end of the trip. I was throwing a little crawl trailer. I think it was a conquistador tackle. Doesn't matter. You could throw any little crawl trailer on the back as long as it's got little claws. But I was basically dragging it. And I lost an absolute giant on Ontario with that. What other funky things? I cranked a bunch of them up, including with the June bug with Travis up there. So I love Ned rigging, drop shotting, and cranking for smallmouth.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it in November when you get them up in 6 to 8 foot of water on them flats.
Oh my!
And you can throw a 3/4 ounce big dog is what I call my spinnerbait. It's called
spinnerbait.
It's called the big dog. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to show you the big dog because none of these people that come in here that can even, they don't even.
Yeah.
I show it to Mike. He's like, "Well, you should throw that away." I'm going to show you the big dog. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
do it.
Hey,
Do it.
So the other thing, I see that. Well, first of all, I think this is our biggest live ever, huh?
Heck yeah.
Is it?
Honestly,
Awesome, man.
I'm getting coverage that's like crazy on this thing.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Bro.
Let me see
Look
that thing.
at the name on the package. Let me get my ears on.
Dude, that's an old one, bro.
Look at that blade.
It's just like giant. That's a mine. Was that an 8 or something? I've never seen a blade that big, bro.
That's a 7.
Oh, it's a weed waiter.
That's an 8. That's an 8 Indiana. That's a twisted wire. This spinnerbait is the big dog. You have to throw it on a flipping stick. You have to throw it on a flipping stick.
That's unbelievable.
You know who turned me onto this spinnerbait?
My heart is like all aflutter. Go ahead.
Danny Correa.
Oh my God, from North, Danny.
Yep.
From
Marlboro, Mass. From Marlboro, Mass.
I love that guy. I watched the show. I love his voice. Danny, Jada.
That son of a gun right there on all your northern waters. When the wind's blowing just right.
Forget about it.
Oh my God.
That's a 7/8 of an ounce too.
That's the big dog.
Isn't that crazy? And nobody makes a spinnerbait like that. You got to get a custom made like that.
Yeah,
I don't even know where you'd find a number 8 Indiana. You make one like that, you should.
We make them up on the water as we go along because them freaking pikes steal them and you break wires.
Well, I remember when they were trying to just get the blades and it was like this nightmare trying to find those big giant number 8s, number 9s.
I throw that on a 904 FSR Loomis flipping stick.
You're my Loomis brother, man. We're going to be talking, man.
I get the wind of my back and send that baby out into the freaking the zone.
There's Will Clute tapping in there. That's a dinner plate.
It is.
Will Clute says that's a dinner plate.
Old school, boys. Old school.
Old school rules, man. Old school rules, Old school rules, man. Like the old light bulb -1, man. Come on with the Bass logo. Don't sleep on those gaudy colors, man. Bass they're like trained to see contrast. Don't sleep on black, man. It's like we get trained to think the fancy stuff works, man. But it's contrast, man. Straight black is a sleeper color, man, for sure.
Straight black is killer. Straight black up north is mandatory.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick, we have a bunch of listeners on here and people watching the show. If everybody can just jump on there and smash your like button,
right on,
and make a comment and share this with everybody, to get more, let your buddies know what the hell's going on here because this is good stuff.
Hey, can we do a giveaway? Can I give away something? Can I give away my stickers tonight? Because I gotta show the river rat.
I like the best logo.
I had the stickers and I was afraid to bring them out because I didn't know where you were at on that.
No, I got
those stickers.
I got them. So we're gonna go through them, man. We're gonna give away.
These stickers are badass.
Do you guys mind if I give away? We're gonna do it. I think we need. Who says? Let's vote. We need a collab River Rat Susquehanna Fish and Tackle.
Oh, absolutely.
That's happening.
Absolutely.
So that's the River Rat, man. Goonie Wolf is the artist. I hired him to do a River Rat because I'm a River Rat at heart. I know you guys are River Rats at heart. So, absolutely. Man, these stickers, I sell them in my little web store, so they're in stock, man. Then
where's that? Where can they get them, Eric?
So they could go to Epic Eric's Bass Lab. I'm on Instagram, and my link is in my profile, also at Epic Eric Official. So
Perfect.
Make sure you get the she thick.
It's coming. So that's for the big bait boys, the rise and glide, man. I think that'd be a badass t-shirt, man.
Yeah.
Then we got the keep on grinding. That I want to have a keep on grinding award for all the grinders out there that just get punched in the mouth and keep going because there's a broken rod on that one.
Yeah.
Then you got to have the tug life. What's
love
up,
it?
boys?
I love that one.
Tug life, man. It's all about the tug life, right?
Love it.
Let's see what else we got. We got
she thick.
Here it comes. And George and my favorite right now.
She thick. Love it.
Because you know I'm a cranking nut. Dr. Frankenstein's in the house.
The doctor will see you now.
Then we got the Bass Lab.
Yeah.
Bassapalooza for all you Lollapalooza fans. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Yeah. And then one more that I want to talk about because
whoa.
Did I not give you that one?
Bassapalooza is going to have to come up off the market.
Okay, it's coming.
That's already no. Scratch that one because Mike and I own that name. It's trademarked.
We'll give it to you. Here,
we'll talk.
No problem. If you need a logo, we got it done. It's yours. It's yours. I'm just gonna give it to you because I love you guys, man.
That sucker's locked up.
No.
So this one's near and dear to my heart, man, because this is like my passion project. This is something that I've been thinking about, talking about for 3 years. It's my Legendary Lakes tour. I want to do this in a big, big way. I want to travel across the country. I want to take a southern route out, spend some time in California, meet my bro, fish legendary bodies of water that I've read about since I've been a kid, meet local tackle shops like SFT, bait makers that, let's say there's I'm going to show something. So there's a dude named Elroy Kruger. Now, everybody thinks that the cantaloupe spinnerbait is Mark Menendez's secret color, and it might be, but Mark didn't invent it.
He did not.
Elroy Kruger did.
Yeah,
and I have that on good authority.
Is he a Cali guy? Where's he? California?
Texas guy, born in Texas, 1940. Rick Clunn said he was one of the best natural fishermen he's ever met, and the best spinnerbait fisherman I've ever known. In 2011, understood depth, understood vibration, understood deep to shallow, shallow to deep. Blade configurations, vibration. And Sean Hornke says I can go meet the guy. So I'm going to bring him one of my versions of the ditch melon, which I call it, not the cantaloupe, but ditch melon. I renamed it. And because it catches bigs, slow rolling in the spring. Anyway, I want to go across the country, and then I'm going to do the northern route back. And I'd love to stop at Susquehanna Tackle and talk to the guys and you guys and go fish the Mighty Susky. And we'll open that coupon. And we'll crack a bottle of whiskey. I'm coming in, man. That's where I'm stopping. All right. Legendary Lakes Tour. That's the final stop on the northern swing. That's how we cap it off. We take a little toast to the tour, man, and we end up at Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, man, with a day on the Mighty Susquehanna, because I haven't been there in a long time, man.
I got news for you, brother. I was 4 numbers off on that big $1 billion drawing of doing that. I'm telling you.
So crazy, man.
I already got it laid out. Pusher bus, double stacker bass trailer, and we started on the set.
So if you guys want to pick a winner for the super sticker pack, you could do it.
All right. Well,
that's up to you. That's up to you. If you want to think about, I don't know if you got a random drawing or something. Yeah, and I'll throw some other.
Do that.
I'll throw a few other freebies in there for people that
we'll do it.
Stickers, but
if you like, comment, and share this on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in, and we'll draw it.
Yep. Love it. And I will pick for you guys. I put together from my personal collection these little packages, and so I'm going to throw some of my absolute favorites in there for you guys, and it's gonna come in a little box, and you know, I'll have to look at the inventory of other stuff, but maybe a Bass Lab beanie or something like that you guys can enjoy when it's cold. I don't know. I'll make it
Epic Eric for nothing here.
I'll make it good, man. I'll make it good.
Well, there you have it. there you have it. All you guys need to do that are on here watching. That's why you want to watch the show, because we do a lot of giveaways too.
That's right.
All the time. And all you got to do is like and share and comment on Facebook and YouTube, and
it's on,
and you will be entered. And Nick's going to pick you a winner.
It's on,
and we'll see. I'm sure we'll see Eric on Saturday, and he'll hook us up with the stuff, and we'll send it to you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you want me to bring it up to the shop? I mean, I can ship it from here, or I can bring the box.
Hold on,
and you guys can ship it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So
we'll take care of it,
because you're going to be here on Saturday.
Yeah.
You're going to pick the drawing. We'll have it set up for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. All right, I'll put my box together. I think one of the things that would be good is like I have like a good pre-spawn box. How's that?
Nice touch,
man. That's freaking badass.
Nice. Yeah,
that's over the top, Eric. All right, buddy. We're gonna let you go, man.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure.
We were only supposed to talk 30 minutes, and we're at an hour and 14. And
all right.
Let me tell you, this was a great show. I knew it was going to be a great show, because you and I and George and Nick, we're all that kind of bass head stuff, and you're just at a different level, I think, than anybody ever met as far as tinkering and stuff. George and I
whoa. He gave you your profile, your mental profile early in the show.
What?
You don't wrap your rods up, bro.
Oh, okay.
You can't you're not even there.
No, I know. I'm not there with that. But
he basically said, if you don't wrap your rods up.
But I just remember
you got a problem.
I remember, this is how bad I had it. I remember fishing a tournament on Conowinga Pool. Yeah. And we were fishing Scuppernong green lizards on a Carolina rig.
Oh, Scuppernong.
Yeah, and you had to put 3 dots on the tail of chartreuse.
Swear to God.
Honest to God.
Isn't that
3
stupid?
dots of chartreuse dye on a tail. It was the freakiest thing in the whole world.
But you know why? Because those damn salamanders are like the 3. Remember, the yellow dots
I don't
got?
know, man. I don't know.
Man.
That's when it started for me. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
And we crushed them that day.
Yeah, freaking hammered them.
Don't we all have a story like that where a little tweak made the difference?
Right. So
depth, speed, cadence, color, profile, shape. But that's the magic of bass fishing.
I hope everybody is writing this stuff down at least, or tape recording this stuff, because this is stuff that is 30, 40, 50 years in the process of learning.
I don't think anybody's using tape recorders.
Whatever. They don't use tape recorders.
Yeah, you guys kept talking old school.
But I am.
I'm just going old school, baby.
I've been recording this whole thing. My son just showed me how I can record. I had no idea you could do this. I always try to like hold the camera up and like record a piece of a YouTube video I might have shot with somebody, and then repost it with the shitty video that I just recorded with my phone on my computer screen. You could actually do a screen recording. There's a button on an iPhone for that.
You're kidding.
Who
me.
knew? I
learned
that last night, Mike. I learned that last night.
You'll show that to us on Saturday.
Me and you talked about at least my technical ability with computers.
Yes.
It's let me tell you something. It's epic. It's freaking epic.
I'll make sure I get him to retrain me, man. So
all right, my man, we're gonna let you go.
Thank you very much
so much.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it.
Yep. We'll see you on Saturday. Thank you so much, pal.
Looking forward to it, man. I'll have the box ready, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Cameraman Nick, thank you very much for the behind the scenes work. George and Mike, you guys rock. 2 of my favorite guys in the industry, man, for good reason, man. You guys are salt of the earth, and I appreciate you for everything you do, man. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace,
Thanks,
man.
Brother.
See you now.
There
you go, man. Epic Eric. I knew it was going to be that way.
I think we need a minute here.
I just freaking knew it was going to be that way.
We need to digest,
because that guy is.
We need to slow down and digest. And
he just proves to you it brings.
He just dropped it on us.
Well, what the thing about it is it brings back in your craziness that you were in at one time fishing. It brings it back to you and knocks you on the head again. And says, "Listen, don't forget to do these things." And it's something that I hope everybody listening, with that conversation really picked up on a few things. And what it should do is start the gears rolling in your head. Man, if I change a blade on this spinnerbait, hey, if I, change the skirt color and take out, I have a skirt with 20 strands of blue What happens if I only put 3 strands of blue in it? You know, that kind of stuff. That's the thinking that this guy is at, and that where George and I have done for years. You know, this crazy thought stuff is just, it's amazing, man. It's just absolutely amazing. It's cool as hell.
You guys always do this, like the seminars, the ones we had for Bass Fest, the seminars this week. You guys tend to always bring people on the show or in these seminars that think differently.
Yeah.
And if people can just take that away and open up your mind to how these bass heads, as you guys call them, look at things, it's a new level.
It really does. It takes you to a new level.
Well,
don't you think, George?
Time on the water creates this stuff, and you're going to run into situations, you know, the lizard with the dots on it. That's no bullshit. And I mean, we caught fish at will for 7 straight hours.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, those kind of crazy tweaks don't play, but when they do, they play to the people that pay attention to the details. You know, we talked on the show during our spinnerbait show about a tournament on the James River where a massive storm came in between day 1 and day 2 at night, and our water was nuclear meltdown. Put two chartreuse skirts on my spinnerbait, went up a size in weight, went up a size in blade, and caught a nice bag of fish.
Sure.
Those are adjustments that come from
tweaking,
being a tackle tweaker and fishing a lot.
Yeah.
Epic Eric fishes a lot. He probably doesn't fish as much as he'd like to.
No, he does.
But he fishes a lot, and he pays attention to the details. How many times have we talked about, and he even alluded to it tonight, Nick, he talked about 7-pound line. You know, we talked about the 7-pound Sunline FC Sniper.
Yeah.
How many times have we done a 7-pound line?
Yeah.
You know, because it's not the 7-pound part, it's the diameter part.
If it was the perfect diameter to fall through that water.
Now, most of the time, but you know, given a certain circumstance of, say, a wintertime cold front and the bite shuts down, that's when you make your adjustments.
Yeah.
Springtime, pre-spawn, big front, big rain, big mud. That's when these kind of specialized adjustments, you know, it's like the 20% rule. 80% of the time, standard fishing's great. 20% of the time, you got to get dialed in. And these things that we say, you know, to people who don't fish a lot, it sounds, you know, like Mike and I have some friends that don't fish at all. I mean, I don't even know how that's possible, but we have a couple of our good buddies that don't fish at all. If they heard this, they don't even watch the show because they're like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
But it's a process. You know, we spent a lot of time on this show. What, couple years?
Yeah.
We spent 3-4 years now? 3 years?
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on this show delving into the details because the details make the difference.
Exactly.
And we just had a great detail-orientated guy on here. And
unbelievable.
We are all luckier for it.
You want to know something else that he said that was really, really key, too, for anybody that wants to get better? Fish with as many different people as you can.
Oh yeah.
And that's how he learned a lot of the things he's done.
Yeah.
You know, George, I know from getting to know you more and more and more, your background and how you had to be brought up with fishing pro on pro.
Yeah.
And what you had to learn. And Mike, I know you got great stories.
Yeah.
That's how you take down your learning curve by fishing with people like that.
That's an excellent point, Nick, and I'll tell you why.
Go join a club just to say that.
That's it.
Yeah, I knew you're going to go there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Join a bass club. It can be affiliated with the federation. It can be not affiliated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you're watching this show and you're trying to take your game to the next level, first of all, don't lock into anything. Second of all, fish with as many people as you can. And if you want to really see it, join a bass club, you know?
Yeah.
you get into a competitive club, a quality club, a Bass Legends type club in our area here.
Yeah. That's the best way to fish with people.
8-10 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
Let's say you fish, 6-7 of them.
Yeah.
You're going to fish with 6 or 7 different people that are going to show you how they solve the puzzle.
Yeah, something.
Every day, you're going to learn something at a much higher pace than you will fishing on your own. That's a great point, cameraman Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much again. Epic Eric Golasso. Appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule, plus taking the time out of your schedule to come up here to Smallmouth Saturday on this weekend on Saturday. Don't forget, guys.
Yeah.
This weekend, February the 11th, are very, very popular.
Oh, this
very popular.
This year, you want to get
Smallmouth Saturday event. We have seminars from George A. Cord, Smallmouth Crush, Travis Manson, and Corbin Gottwall, local legend here.
Whoa.
I knew I'd get something out of
Pump
that.
The frickin' brake pedal.
local guy.
Corbin Gottwalt's a phenomenal fisherman. I fish with him a ton, but he's basically the Brock Purdy of the smallmouth world. I mean,
okay.
He's great. But we're not dumping legend status out just yet, okay?
Anyway, you got CG Gottwalk going to be here doing a great seminar on some really cool stuff that you don't want to miss. But that is this weekend. Also, George and I are putting together a massive sale list that's unbelievable. We have blowout stuff. George lost his freaking mind on some of this stuff.
There's certain brands that we're not allowed to advertise.
Yes.
They're going to be on sale.
Exactly.
So connect the dots.
Exactly.
We're not allowed to advertise that.
Exactly. So there's some specials that we're really gonna push. We're really gonna have a good time with. You want to be here, plus a bunch of other specials.
Seminars.
And then the seminars, and then the learning, the education. That's what we're all about. The education.
I'm all prepped up.
That's why we have these people. That's why we do the things we do, is to educate. And every time that I listen to a guy like Eric, or I listen to whoever, I'm picking up things, and that's just the way it's going to be. All right. So we're going to move on, George. We got going to kind of cut things kind of quick on some of this stuff, but
I can make some rapid adjustments on the fly here. I got a little bit. I want to tie a few things together on tournament talk. I want to talk about.
Let's go there. We're going to talk
tackle talk.
Let's go there.
And then I have my hand grenade.
Let's go there. Let's go to tackle talk right now.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to come back with, right after Epic Eric, let's talk some tackle. So what do you got, brother?
Well, last week we went into part 1 of the new Yamamoto baits.
Yeah.
We highlighted the new colors of the Senko. I think the week before that, we talked about the Yamacraw.
Yeah.
The new crawl bait.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we decided to break it down into a couple different parts because they brought out a lot of product this year.
Yeah.
So this week, I was talking with web designer Matt, and he suggested that we do 3 products this week.
Okay.
So I like it. So first of all, I want to show you a little comparison here.
Ooh, the Zako.
Would you look at that?
Look at that little sweetheart there hanging.
Would you just look at it?
Man, oh man, oh man. Look at that thing. So what do you got? What is that?
Just look at it.
What is it?
So we have
killing me.
The new 3-inch Zako. Okay, so we all know about the Zako. The Zako, you take the jackhammer, you put the Zako on it, and 80% of your life is all good. Brett Height designed the whole package. This thing is proven hot. Well, The hottest thing to happen to chatterbait since the jackhammer is the Mini-Max, which we've talked about on this show. We've done fishing, testing.
Yep.
This bad boy.
And you know what I can tell you about that, George, is people aren't what do they call that? Embracing it.
Some are.
That's what I'm saying. The smart ones are.
Some are.
But there's some people that aren't embracing it. But look at that. Look at that thing.
So this thing is taken off like, by the time you get into the Mini-Max, those who have been into the Mini-Max will kind of have forced you there. This thing is taken off to the point where Yamamoto built a Seiko for this bait.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
This bait was built for this bait.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is they took their time. They looked at the colors of the chatterbaits, and they built a line of colors. I love what they did, for example, with their fire crawl. I love what they did because,
it's not just like everybody else's.
It's not just this bold.
You're right.
I love
Kinda
me
subtle.
some fire crawl on some green pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
I love what they did with smallmouth magic. I love what they did with, the
Sexy shad.
the classics. If you're fishing a shad body of water, the classic green pumpkin.
Get the net, Henry.
The green pumpkin white.
Hey, Nick, get the net.
The
Awesome.
sight flash. I mean,
yeah.
They took all those colors. They did, if you're fishing, some chartreuse.
Yeah.
You got that play on blue and chartreuse with the electric blue and chartreuse.
That's pretty awesome. That's a great addition there. I like that.
They call this one sexy shad.
Yeah, sexy shad. And it's a true sexy shad. That's good.
So
they did good on that.
The 3-inch Seiko, $5.99 a pack, pairs up with a Z-Man Mini-Max perfectly.
Yeah. And
if you're not fishing the Mini-Max, you'll be making a mistake.
Hey, George, before you move on there, I can't help but ask you this. Are you trimming that down at all? That skirt?
A little bit.
I definitely trim mine down a little bit.
Now, it depends on the trailer because I also like to fish sometimes they want that floppy. And I love I guess they call it the goat or the baby goat, the smaller goat from Z-Man. Rocks on that chatterbait. But you're going to notice on that Mini-Max, not to tangent off here, but you're going to notice when you're retrieving that Mini-Max, it's very subtle. That little blade is a high-speed blade, but it's not like real.
It's not thumping like the big blade.
Now, if you yo-yo it, it's a great yo-yo bait because it falls, and when you pick it up, that blade engages right away. So
yeah,
I've had good success yo-yoing it, as well as just winding it.
You got to be really careful with the skirt length, and we talked about that already on here. But if the skirt touches any movement of the tail,
that's a little long.
That's definitely long there for me.
That's a little long.
That wouldn't allow that tail to move at all. And I'm telling you, it only takes one strand or two strands to screw it up. So make sure you trim it down to where you still got the kick in the bait. And that's for crawdads too. And trust me, it's only one or two strands that can mess you up.
So here we go, Nick. We got our body, we got our tail. So we want to come in here. I'm going to say roughly pretty close to a half an inch.
Yeah.
And we're going to come in here and just.
Because that's a full-size skirt on a little bitty bait. Don't forget,
it's a finer strand.
Yeah, but it's the same length. They make them the same for everything. They can change the material, but they can't change the length.
And I like to give it a haircut like a barber who really doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Sort of a little bit of a shape to that. You notice how I took more off the top of the skirt and less off the bottom?
But see, I still think you got to trim up that bottom some because if that gets in that tail, it just stops it.
Well, it's obviously not going to unless the tail jumps forward.
What are you talking about?
It's right there. But that's kind of what we do there. We give it a little bit of a haircut. And you know what? You make a few casts, you don't like it, cut it a little more.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's better than putting it back on, because that's not going to work. So the Mini Max, the 3-inch Zaco, so excited to have them in stock.
Yeah.
So
what's next?
Part 2 of the Yamamoto deal. Now, this is one that's near and dear to me because I'm a big speed worm guy. Obviously, Zoom, is famous for their speed worm, their ultra vibe speed worm. And, Yamamoto is famous for worms in general. So, put the two together and you got yourself a killer bait. Now, for those of you who are not speed worm fishermen, if you fish grass,
it's simple.
In the spring, through the spawn and into the summer, you need to.
Yeah.
I think I've pretty much summed it up for you. We've talked about the speed worm on this show.
We're going to do another show on it.
We are going to do another show on it. But this is your traditional 7-inch speed worm. If you guys aren't fishing big worms, this is not really a big worm. But if you're not fishing, if you're stuck in that 4-inch worm world and everything's small, that doesn't work in speed worm world. The standard speed worm size. You can jump over to Zoom to the Mag Ultra Vibe speed worm, the bulkier.
Is that the heavier original Senko plastic?
Oh, yeah.
It's the original Senko plastic. It's not a lightened up one like
no. This is full salt.
Yep.
Now you're gonna want to tear that tail. It's got a couple gates on it from the manufacturing process. You want that free. And what I like to do with this, cameraman Nick, is I like to fish this on, a fluorocarbon line with a Texas rig with about a 1/4 ounce weight. And I like to cast it out on the grass flats, pre-spawn through spawn, and reel it. Reel it, slow roll it, maybe bang into a clump of grass and let it sink. Pop it, reel it a little more. You get one that rolls on it, you can drop it. Great in the pro spawn, great in the early summer. If you're not speed worm fishing, you need to be. And I love the fact that they named it the speed worm. Let's face it. I mean, if you're taking the idea, you might as well take the name. Check this out. Sounds like I got like a jungle tribe talking in click music to me, like.
I'm texting.
Does that mean like
Eric.
Does that mean like speed worm or something?
Sounds like the Predator.
Yeah, took me back. Baby bass, which is like a light watermelon, right? Black with blue flake, standard. Blue pearl hologram, shad color. Gooseberry, which is what I showed you there. It's actually a laminated color. It's got that nice grapey look, that nice June buggy flake look. Beautiful. Tidal water.
Excellent color.
Tidal water, stained water. Green pumpkin.
Yeah.
Green pumpkin watermelon laminate. We call it the boss's bait. That's how good it is.
Yep.
And many, many more colors. And then the last thing we want to show you from Yamamoto is actually a floater. Okay? This is not a typical Yamamoto project. This is called the Slinko.
Yeah, no salt.
Slinko.
Yep.
It's a floater type plastic, and awesome for wacky. Awesome to Carolina rig. This thing's getting great reviews as a Texas rig bait on a Carolina rig, and also awesome for Nico rigging. Putting your O-ring on and your hook underneath there, and Nico rigging it, putting a Nico sinker in the head. It's got a nice little bulky portion for that. This bad boy right here has been a hot deal.
Yeah.
We've been selling a lot of these. So
it's like a ringwormed Senko, like a ringworm,
but it's a floater.
But it's a floating
and it's
style.
made primarily for wacky rigging, Nico rigging, and
they're loving Carolina rigging.
Yeah, they're loving it on a Carolina rig.
Yeah.
So your price points, your speed worm and your Slinko are at $7.99 a pack.
Yeah.
7 count packaging.
Yeah.
Your 3-inch Zako is at $5.99 a count, and that is a 8 count.
Yep.
So that is our tackle talk segment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So
I like it.
I think we have like a couple minutes here, George. You can touch on the tournaments. I
feel like I'm in the speed round of a
yeah. Well, we ran over. I only wanted,
what's the
I ran over
game show, like a television game show. I'm in the bonus
I
round.
know.
Like if I hit a certain number here, I'm taking it down.
Well, we ran over with our buddy.
Look who's on the screen.
Go Gomez.
Go. Good to hear from you, my friend.
Can't
wait to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, I mean it's getting long. Really getting long.
I like JP Harrell's question. Do you always peg the speed worm? JP, I'm an old school guy. I use a lead screw-in bullet weight on my speed worm. However, you can peg it, but peg it tight. You want that weight pegged tight to the head
JP,
of the worm.
This is something I never told my brother.
That's how you get that belly roll.
This is something I never told my brother. A number 7, and that's the bigger size, right, George? On swivels. Yes, number 7.
You're talking crazy.
Number 5. Number 5 barrel swivel with a 24-inch leader tied right onto that, no weight. Big swivel, like a big giant swivel like that, like a Carolina big swivel, and then go up a size or 2.
Keep doing that.
I think it's a 5.
It is a 5.
Never told my brother about that. Now it's out. The cat's out. We'll see. See how it turns out.
I won't be buying any number 5 swivels. I can tell you that much.
All right, give us a breakdown of the leaders and what they're doing quick, so we can roll off of here.
All right. Boy, you're in a hurry. We got a little tournament talk for you. This is our ESPN Sports Center part of the show, but we learned from it. So, a couple things. First of all, we are at Okeechobee right now with the Tackle Warehouse MLF Invitational Way 5 series.
And which is good coverage, actually. Really good coverage.
Those guys do a great job. Marty Stone is awesome in the booth.
Yep.
And
very cool.
Yeah, so they're down there doing their tournament right now, and day 1 was a straight up whack fest. I mean, they cracked them.
They did, man.
There was too many 7-pounders to even mention.
A lot of big fish.
David Walker took first place on day 1 with 28+ pound bag.
Who was right behind him?
Let me see if I have that down here. B-Lat.
But I don't
know if he was right behind him.
He was right there, man.
But he had a 24-pound bag.
Yeah, he was right in second place going into day 2.
Couple interesting things. A lot of guys are flipping and casting a Senko.
Yep.
Almost identical to our Senko show last week. They're fishing anywhere from a lightweight to all the ways up to a ½ ounce. Remember our Senko show?
Yeah.
We talked about the weighted Senko.
Yeah.
Pete fishing the ½ ounce.
Yep.
They're fishing it up to a ½ ounce. And if you'll jump back with me for a hot minute to the Toyota series on the Harris chain that Kenny Steverson won.
Yeah.
½ ounce on a 6-inch
yeah.
Senko.
Love it.
So,
love it.
We highlighted that last week. We are now driving that point home.
Yep.
With Tournament Pros success.
Yep.
B-Lat,
baby.
Senko.
Smashed him.
No weight. Weightless. So here we are again.
Yeah, on a spinning rod.
On a spinning rod.
Down there.
Now, he did say that you can't fish a weightless Senko on a casting rod. I don't know about
I
that.
don't know about that either, but
I don't even fish one on a spinning
that's the
rod.
way he rolls.
But
And
braid
that's legit.
Braid to a 17-pound leader, and let me tell you, he picking it apart. And guess what?
Did he have 31 pounds today?
No, he did not.
Oh.
There was a 31-pound bag today.
Oh, there was.
Was not B-Lat.
No, I thought he had it.
He's picking that area apart. He had
31 pounds. Good God.
He had a 7+ pounder yesterday that was jumping on the other side of the boat, wrapped in the prop of the motor. He trimmed the motor up, unwrapped the line, and landed this fish.
Yeah, that was cool.
So when it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
That's pressure right there.
Second cast today, 8 something. B-Lat.
Yeah.
Second cast.
So today, Colby Schrumpf is leading.
Wow.
Now, they cut to the top 50. They changed it up this year. They cut to the top 50 instead of the top 10. Wow. And it's cumulative weight, whereas they were zeroing the weights last year. Oh.
Yep.
MLF, get consistent. So Colby Schrumpf is leading with 47.05. He had a hell of a day today.
I forget who it was. Day one called 60 pounds to win it. Somebody caught and he was I mean, right on track.
This Joshua Weaver has that 31.09 pound bag. He's now in second.
Sweet.
So that was interesting. But you know what?
So it drops to 50 tomorrow. You can watch it on Major League Fishing Live, right?
Yeah.
It's great coverage.
It is fantastic.
It's great coverage. If you get some free time, just make sure you watch a little bit of it. And tomorrow's the last day, right, George?
Yeah. Tomorrow they're crowning the champion and they're cutting the reduced check of $80,000 out.
Oh, it reduced. That's for everything.
It's not 100.
That's all that Major League Fishing platform, all the way down, all the way down to the freaking bullshit, all the way down to the well, maybe not up at the top, but all from there, all the way down to the BFLs. You're taking a pay cut.
Well, I know you are on this circuit.
Go ahead, George.
I know you are on this circuit.
You're taking a pay cut and everything.
Okay.
Savages.
Well,
I don't like them.
Might be some research.
I don't like them though. I guarantee you, start looking at it, the places that they pay down, there's going to be less. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to point out the BFL Cowboy division on Toledo Bend last week. Cody Pitt, 39.15. Anchorfish, 13.6.
Gosh. Wow.
Got paid $8,107.
What was the field? 490?
No, that's a pretty good payday for a BFL.
That is. That's what I'm saying. There's probably 490 boats in it.
Road trip.
They don't do 490 boat tournaments.
I bet you they do 300.
No, it's two something. That's the biggest fish ever weighed in a BFL.
That's the biggest payout I ever heard in a BFL.
But it's interesting how it ties into the show from 2 weeks ago. Early pre-spawn largemouth. We talked about the football jig. We talked about deep cranking. Old Cody caught his fish on a football jig. A 6XD and a 10XD.
There you have it.
Now, he pretty much owns Toledo Bend. They're probably going to change the name of the lake to Cody Pitt Bend, but, I mean, he's like the man there. Yeah, so I think, Mike, the other thing I wanted to point out was the disparity. Last week we talked about the fact that the Western Toyota Series had 85 boats. The Toyota Series on the Harris chain had 260 boats. The high school tournament on the Harris chain had 250 boats. The MLF College Series on the Harris chain had 250 boats. The Bassmaster College Series on the Harris chain had 200. So my point is, I mean, out west, they're always screaming for national tours.
Yeah.
They had 85 boats.
No, I know. We talked about that.
Well, we're going to talk about it again. You know why? Here's what the difference is in entries. Kenny Steverson got paid $67,000.
Where?
He actually won $102,000
Where's that?
at the Harris Chain Toyota Series.
Oh, Toyota. Okay, yeah.
He actually won $102,000, but $35,000 of it was
Bonus.
Phoenix money. So, you know, MLF paid $67,000 on a 260 boat field. Todd Klein on an 85 boat field won $29,392.
Yeah, see, I don't get that. Was that with a bonus? Has to be
He
with
didn't
a
have
bonus.
a bonus.
Huh?
He didn't have a bonus.
How does that add up?
Yeah, how does that add up?
I'm just saying.
It's ridiculous.
I'm just saying.
They don't even know what they're doing with these payouts, man.
Well, I mean, they're following a policy. They're following they don't just make it up the day of the end of the tournament, but they're following a procedure, but it's cut. It's cut back. Okay.
That's not cut back. 85 boats, $30,000. That's a high payout.
I'm glad you think so.
I think that's a high payout.
Well, if you look at the percentage, that's
Look
a
at
higher
200 and
payout.
something boats, and the guy gets 69,000.
67. But he
All right.
But he had the Phoenix money, put him up to
I'm
102.
not talking about Phoenix money.
Neither am I.
That's different because you're telling me that this guy's getting 29,000 with 85 boats.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me.
Well, I don't know.
If you look at the ratio, that's $100,000 check for the guy at 285 boats. It's crazy, man. Craziness.
Well, you know, I take it.
I like the fact that they paid $30,000 for 85 boats. I like the fact of that because I was thinking like, oh shit, 7,000-8,000.
Yeah, almost BFL money or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
7,000-8,000.
You know, it was interesting that guy that won that Havasu, that was a Havasu Toyota Series, and I really liked what he did. He was power fishing for the first day. Did great. Second day, did good. Third day, not so good. Partway through the day, puts everything away, gets a spinning rod out, puts an underspin on it with a little swim bait, 5-pound test line. Because on day 2, when things got tough, he caught a 7-pounder on that spinning rod. So he's like, okay, I got to make this adjustment. And he went on to win the tournament. So
Perfect.
That's our tournament talk.
What do you got for a bomb there, George? You got some kind of hand grenade you're gonna throw at us?
I do. I'd like to talk about a 65-minute season in Michigan, a fishing season that lasted for 65 minutes. You know, like we have opening day of trout season here in Pennsylvania. We're all excited.
What the hell is a 65-minute
season? We got, you know, when you come deer hunting in Pennsylvania, there's more people that go deer hunting the first day in Pennsylvania than the Army has bodies. It's like literally we have an army in the woods.
Yeah.
But it doesn't last 65 minutes. Well, if you go to Black Lake in Michigan for the sturgeon season, they're technically allowed to kill 7 fish. And then the season's over. And they'll shoot you a text. They got all the rangers out. They'll come to your ice shanties. They'll knock on the door. They'll tell you the season's over. So they cut it back to 6 in case somehow in the closing ceremony somebody catches one. Because you can either spear them through the ice with a decoy. You decoy them in and spear them.
Decoy?
Yeah, you put a decoy in the water, which draws the fish in, and then you stick them with a big spear like Poseidon.
God almighty.
Like Poseidon, baby.
This is craziness.
Or you catch them on a hook and line. So here's what's cool. The season lasted for 65 minutes, right? It started at midnight on the 4th of February, last Saturday night, and it ended at 9:05 a.m. But it ended before that, but they didn't get it all tabulated. Listen, they caught a 55.5-incher that was tagged in 2012. 2012. It's 2023. They caught a 54-incher that they tagged in 2007. And then they re-tagged it in 2017. So we're talking about catching granddad here. And then the third fish was 54 1/4 inches, and it was a stocked fish. Because all these lakes come out of the Sheboygan River, and that's a major spawning grounds for sturgeon. So there you go. 65-minute season. So if you drove all the ways out there to fish Black Lake in Michigan for the sturgeon season, and you hit the local watering hole for some cheese curds and some hardcore beer drinking, you might have missed the season if you overslept.
Yeah, you missed out.
You'd be like, another plate of cheese curds and 2 more pints for my friends. Next thing you know, you're getting a text message, season's over.
That's pretty cool, though.
The question from JP Harold is 5-pound test line. Are you talking about straight fluoro or braid to fluoro?
Either or.
I think you're either
or.
But you better be real careful on your drag with the braid because you have low stretch and you can pop that very easily. So it's an incredibly light drag setting that still gets you the same hook set. So be sure you really watch that. Otherwise, go straight fluorocarbon all the way to your reel. You get a little bit of stretch out of that. It's not quite as critical, but it's still critical.
We got to thank tonight, other than Go Gomez?
Well, we got to thank all of our peoples that stopped in tonight. I see there's a lot of guys from Jersey in here tonight. We appreciate you guys stopping. I hope you stop back again. If everybody there can hit their like, share, and comment on your platform that you're on, that would really help us out. We would appreciate it very much.
Well, and Mike, not only that, if you like, share, and comment on our Facebook and YouTube in this video, you are put in for a chance to win Epic Eric's prize on Saturday.
Absolutely. Epic Eric was very kind to put together a great prize pack. And if it's coming from him, bro, it's special.
I know what I'd be doing.
So you better be smashing, you better be commenting, you better be doing everything you can to get in for this contest because it's a big deal. Don't forget, this Saturday here at the shop, Smallmouth Saturday, very, very popular here at the store. We've been doing this for years, and it's a great event. It's all smallmouth talk. Everybody who's smallmouth is here. We have George doing seminars. Smallmouth
seminar,
Smallmouth Crush doing a seminar. That's Travis Manson, and then also Corbin Gottwalt. And who knows what's else going to happen? There could be a million things that go on. And then Epic Eric's going to be here to see everybody. And then also local guides, local smallmouth gurus, all talking fishing, specials that you can't believe. I'm not going to go into those because it's crazy. You got to be here to see them.
Get me home, boys. Get me home.
So thank you guys. Thank you so much to everybody for stopping in. Appreciate everything you guys do for us. I hate to cut it off, but we're at hour and 56 minutes. And I know you guys got to go to bed and you guys got to go spend some time with your big kids and family. So until next time, we'll see you at the next Tackle Shop Live.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down, knowing now you're blue. Soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair and your beautiful smile. Your sense of humor makes it all worthwhile. Don't make me wait, it's not a funny game. You know just what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me